thought about it for about 10 years. That took a lot of thought, because that's a really big step. That's a really big step in anybody's life. I mean, that's somehow changing the way you look. And unless you're a blind person that knows how people look by touch alone, people are going to view you differently. And because that's the first thing that we see, the eyes are sort of put right in the middle of the face, and our first contact with another human being is the face, and our structure is geared towards the face. So that's a very powerful statement. And it took me a while to get used to it. When I first tattooed my face, it was very shocking. Like the first time I saw myself in the mirror, it was really weird. Really, really weird. It was like, oh my God. It's like, wow, what have I done? And not in a bad way, but it's this really powerful emotion. And in a way, I liked it. But I also knew that in some way I set myself apart from the straight world. Like I knew that at that point I had decided I wasn't going to run away and join the office. One of the big security channels that we all have had just been cut out of my life by me. And it's real dangerous because, you can really cut yourself bad if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, it really is broken glass. As you can see, it's not like... See that?
Yeah.
It's like real broken glass. There's no trick to that. And this is really the most dangerous part, these little things here. Because they can get in your hand or your arm, and once they get in, like they literally never get out. I really delved very deeply into that whole hardcore punk rock, 80s lifestyle, crazy artist lifestyle, which was a complete rebellion in the middle class suburbs that I come from. And eventually that lifestyle almost killed me, and part of the lifestyle became moving from one place to another. It's a lifestyle of burning bridges. So I'd burn a bridge and move to another, and burn another bridge and move to another bridge, and eventually I had a few tattoos along the way, but not that many. When you live that way, you don't really have the money to get a lot of tattoos. Let's be realistic, tattoos cost a lot of money. Eventually that lifestyle slowly led me to New York City. When I got to New York City, I decided I was going to tattoo my whole body, because I felt that if I tattooed my whole body and I had to move again, at least I'd have something to take with me. When I first moved to New York, I got a job street vending in Midtown. And I used to know this woman who, she was a fire eater. And she wanted to go work in Coney Island. Columbine the Combustible. And I had tattoos, but not like the tattoo man. I mean, Michael was a tattoo man at the time, and he had, oh my God, like a lot of tattoos. But they told me they needed a ticket seller. And I had so much experience working on the line in the crowds and needing a job. Well, I said yes, and as someone who spent most of my free time writing poetry and prose, which is probably what I still think of doing and try to do all the time as much as I can. Well, it was an ideal job because at that time Coney Island was still the wild, wild, wild east. East of New York, not wild east of Europe, but it was just wild place. I mean, maybe it was not in its heyday of wildness, but it was still wild. I mean, the craziness and the smell of cotton candy and grease and melting things. I think what really got me was the smell of cotton candy and grease, that frying grease they used to cook everything. And it just was amazing. I had the first impression of Madrid like when I first worked in Coney Island. Like Madrid was a carnival, man. The city is unbelievable. Insanity. Like midgets, man. Midgets dancing in the middle of the middle class people dressed nicely, shopping in the shopping district. Deformed people, prostitutes, pimps, rent boys, like church ladies, churches, beggars. I was like a carnival, man. It was like a carnival of 8 million people. Like I felt I was like in the real carnival. Like Coney Island where I work is getting gentrified. They're changing it. And when I was in New York, used to be like a carnival because I remember when I first landed in New York, I went to St. Mark's Place. And back then, St. Mark's Place was like the souk, like the souk in the Arab villages where they have the souk, where they sell all the weird stuff and all the shops. So I remember walking from off into St. Mark's Place to Tompkins Square, and that's when these people still used to live in Tompkins Square. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm home, man. Welcome to the New Jerusalem, Here I am, like, waiting for Jesus Christ to, like, walk through the souk and, walk through the temple of the East Village and start, turning the tables of the moneylenders. And it's like, St. Mark's Place.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the feeling I got in Madrid. Hey. When you really would see the performers, in order to get the attention of the locals, they had to be so good. Because now people do this and people clap and cheer. And the city was so intense that if, people were really good performers on the street and people weren't paying attention to them. Unless you really were good. And that's how Coney Island used to be when I started working there. Unless somebody was really good, people didn't give a shit. And now, of course, it's like tourists and, they're a lot easier to please, man. It's like, one of the things I missed about the show, like when the area I work in started gentrifying and getting more mellow, is that people were so easy to please. And I used to like it when you really had to work to get their goat. You had to work your ass off, man. You had to be like, all right, man, I'm going to get you to respond. I don't care. You're responding. See, this is French? Yes, it is real glass. Oh, you want to come and see it? You want to come and see? It's real glass. Come and see. Yeah, come and see. It's okay. It's okay. Real glass.
Walking
Dance.
on broken
Cha cha
glass.
cha. Da 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 da. Or you can say, I'm having a beautiful day. Or else, you can say, well, I need a shower. Let me see. I haven't washed my face all day long. So, the weather is really, really nice, and I'm deciding to take a little shower here. Oh, you can come and see. You can come and see. It's okay. I don't bite. And you can say, oh, or you can say, oh my God.
Yo.
I got glass in my eyeball. Nice. It was a crazy process to get to where I'm at now. It took quite a few years. I did leave on the edge. I really did.
Do you still
think you live on the edge?
Nah,
Not like before.
not at all. I mean, nobody can sustain that lifestyle for very long, because that's a lifestyle that it's unsurvivable. I mean, my whole goal in life, I think, my goal in life was to sort of vanish from the face of the earth when I was 27. And I'm sure that a lot of kids have felt that way. But I used to really admire Janis Joplin. I don't know why. She just was so into what she was doing, I guess. And I used to admire people like I guess I'm so typical. I'm so generic. All these rock and roll idols that died in their 27. So that seemed to be the magic age. You live so fast, you burn out at 27, you die, and then you go into this pantheon of glory. I really kind of shot for it, but I didn't get my wish. And I remember turning 27 and having this huge hangover. And turning 28, sorry, that's just my 27th year was very depressing, because I did a lot of performing and played in bands all for many years, but then I ran off in 26 and 27. I pretty much did nothing but drink and do other things. And it got to be a very depressing time. I just wasn't creative, and I felt very dead. And I remember one week after turning 28 in New York and telling myself, man, it's like, at least these guys died and they left a legacy behind. And look at me, I'm just going to be a wino in the gutter. I don't know, I guess decided at that point that I still had a lot to live, and the blaze of glory was not going to happen, so the alternative of living a really interesting life and being very creative and just seemed to be a lot better than dying in the gutter without anybody knowing who the hell you were. And I decided at that very moment to change my life, and along with it came all the tattoos. My life is in your hands, young lady. You better do a good job. My life is in your hands. Yes, in your hands. Now, I want you to come here. Put your feet right here. Wait, I need to make a little mountain so they don't think I'm cheating. In here. I want you to sit right here. Foot. And you got to help her stand straight. Foot, go. And at the count of 3, I want you to hear the crunching. Hear the crunching. Hear the crunching.
Yeah.
But
I like
get
it.
Up?
That's nice. Beautiful. Wow. Good job, man. Super.
So I can tell you honestly that Czech grass is better than American glass. And that, as you see, folks, really it is glass. Stigmata. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm done with glass for today. Thanks for this crazy American here in the Czech Republic. When you go to Sideshow, you have to believe.